host of the Social ROI Chat. And today we have Diana Adams with us. Diana, oh my gosh, what an amazing chat. Thank you for being with us.
So happy to be here.
You were incredible. That was like an amazing hour of just awesomeness.
It was a lot of tweets, wasn't it?
It was a lot of tweets. We had, you brought a big crowd out. That was a great group of people, nice crowd. Great topic, talking about generating leads on Twitter. Before we dive into that, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. I've been on Twitter forever, right? I'm total Twitter addict. But my real job, I am an ACN for Apple. And so I'm in the tech industry. So my favorite topics in tech are kind of futuristic tech. So I'm not technically a social media person per se, but I'm just on there all the time.
I think you are. I mean, to me, you're like a super social media smarty. That sounded kind of cool, didn't it? Super social media smarty. You know a lot. Like, I've known you for years, and you just always blow me away with the knowledge that you have. And when it comes to Twitter, I mean, you're just like at the top, I think.
Really?
That's just my 2 cents.
It's going to make my head get big. I don't know. You're so sweet, Madalyn. You've always been such a dear friend. Well, we've known each other for
a while.
Years. Like probably since around 2000. When did you join Twitter?
I've been on Twitter since 2008.
Okay, because I joined in March 2009, and I think I met you very soon after that.
Yeah, I've known you for a long time on Twitter, and then you had a Twitter chat, which was one of the most amazing chats that you did with Rebecca Radice, and who was the third lady? I'm blanking.
Rebecca Radice. Did you know that? And Ann Tran.
Ann Tran, yes.
Yeah.
And I've known Ann Tran forever. She was probably one of the very first social media rock stars I met on Twitter. You guys had an amazing chat. What was it called? It was
Influencer Chat.
Chat, yeah.
All three of us started traveling so much for our work. And it takes a lot of work to keep a chat going, right? So we were just like, one of us is always on a plane or always in an office, or I started traveling internationally a lot. And, I'm in a place where I can't get internet. So we just said, we're going to put this on hold for a little while.
Yeah. It was a great chat. I always enjoyed being on there every week because you guys were like a powerhouse. And then I remember back in the Blab days, I'll never forget, one time y'all decided after the Twitter chat, because it was a nighttime chat, and right after y'all decided to hop on the Blab for the very first time. And
we were in Miami for that.
Yes, y'all were at a hotel.
Yes.
And that was my first time to actually be on video in front of you guys, because like we all knew each other. Like I knew y'all knew who I was, but we hadn't met in person yet. And I will know you're gonna love this story. I will never forget this. The chat was over. I was like, it was late. I'm like, I'm done for the day, So I unplug all my stuff on my computer, which I rarely do, but I just unhooked everything, including all my video stuff. And then I just go get in the recliner. I'm on my phone. I'm still reading the tweets. And you guys are like, we're going to get on Blab. I'm like, oh, and there's so the three of you guys, and I remember y'all were in the hotel, but y'all were still using the seats up, and then you had the empty seat on the Blab. You're like, who wants to come hang out with us? I'm like, oh my, I ran back to my computer and hooked everything back up because it's I want to get on one of those seats and come hang out with you guys. And that was I'll never forget. It was just so much fun. Just, doing this, what we're doing right now, being able to get on live streaming video and in chat is so powerful.
That is so wonderful. And that night that you're talking about, I remember that Rebecca, Ann, and I were speaking at a social media event in Miami.
Right.
And Rebecca was in a different room. She hosted the Blab, and then Ann and I were going to come on it. Well, we couldn't find a quiet place in the hotel, so we went in a janitorial closet, and we stood in the closet, and we put my laptop up on the shelf next to the mop bucket, and it was awesome. And that Blab went on for an hour and a half.
It did. It went on for so long. because we all wanted the hot seats with you guys.
I miss Blab. I mean, Be Live is fine, but
yeah, I miss Blab too.
Not just Blab, but the Blab days. You know, the whole feel, and I miss that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying doing, like, I like that we can do the side-by-side interview on here on Be Live, but it would be nice to, and I think Blue Jean does it where you could have like Brady Bunch style, like Blab. I'm looking into that because that would be a lot of fun.
Bunch style. Oh, I haven't heard.
Remember, that's what we used to call Blab. You know, the Brady Bunch.
Blab was Brady Bunch style because you would have like the quadrants.
Exactly. Which was so much fun. I missed that. Want to do a shout out. I see that we got a nice live audience here. We got Gary, Kevin, Natasha, Alex, and Melissa here with us live, and probably others. Facebook doesn't always, it's kind of weird. Have you noticed that? I don't think it's just me, but I'll be on a Facebook Live and you look and you see who's here, and then later you go back and it was like 10 times as many people there, but it doesn't show them when you're live.
Well, my brain can only do one thing at a time, so I normally don't look at the chat while I'm on here because it'll just.
You're just like,
I
love that.
Just like a one-track mind, I have to just do one thing.
I totally understand. So we're just going to have a brief little chat talking about our topic. The topic today: strategies for getting more leads on Twitter. Ooh, that was a good one. So
I love talking about that because so many people are so afraid to promote themselves or to talk about their business or to even think about getting leads on Twitter because they think, oh, that's bad. I don't want people to think I'm selling anything. And then what happens is, 50,000 tweets later, nobody even knows what they do for a living. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to bring it up. And I've seen that happen with so many friends of mine. I'm like, wait a minute, I've known you for like almost a decade. I don't even know what you do. And I own my own business. Well, I didn't even know. So it's a balance, you don't want to be the cheesy salesperson, but at the same time, you got to promote yourself. Why are we all spending all this time on here, right? Granted, it is just for fun, but let's share more of ourselves, a more full picture of what we're all about.
Yeah. And, I'm a big proponent of, yes, you can go on Twitter, go on social media, promote yourself. You don't over promote, but let people know what you do. And so many people I talk to that I coach will say, yeah, but I don't want people to think I'm being salesy or just going to come off wrong. So how do you, let's hear how you address that.
All right. I have 2 examples to give you about that. Do you know Tamara McCleary?
Yes.
You know her? Okay. That woman is excellent at self-promotion without being like promotion-y.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like she's good.
Yes.
Gotta go look at her Twitter stream because
I'm going to pull it up right now.
She promotes herself, but it's in such a cool way. Okay, now let me give you another example. Your master Twitter class started today, right?
Yeah, it starts tonight, my 4-week training course. I'm like bursting at the seams. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I love it.
I'm using you as my other example because I thought of this today. Okay, so you've gotten on Twitter before and you've posted videos and you've talked about how excited you are and you've posted about it.
Yes,
but I guarantee you, not one person thinks that you've been salesy. And do you know why that is? Because everybody knows you and they know, this is Madalyn. We're all friends. We want to support you. So there's all these people spreading the news about your Twitter course. Yeah. And it's because we love you. Aww. And you've built all these relationships. So isn't that a good example?
It really is, yeah.
You build the relationships, genuine relationships, before you need them. Before you need them, right? You can't just start following somebody and then like, oh, buy this. No, you build the relationship genuinely. And then guess what? 6 months later, it's just a natural transition.
It really is. Absolutely. You're so right. Get on Twitter, build relationships, step 1, right? And then Natasha says, I agree. Look at all those exclamation points. I can just hear Natasha in Greece. all the way over in Greece, you know. I agree. I love it.
And not only that, she'd be on a video and there'd be like this beautiful landscape in the background.
Yeah, she's so great. I love this community. Like, that's what's so great is that, you know, the people we're talking to right now, and Sue, thank you for sharing that. You know, as soon as you get on the chat today, a whole bunch of people that know you and love you were there. Right. And we had a lot of people from our video reply day community. And,
so sweet.
You know, we all know each other from tweeting. Yeah. You know, we've all established a relationship. So, yes, when you do go to sell, people are going to support you because they already know, like, and trust you.
Exactly. And that was my very first tweet in the chat tonight was the know, like, trust. Because I'm sure there are a lot of wonderful people who get on Twitter. They send the auto DM after somebody follows them that says, hey, buy this, and it comes off wrong, and they get blocked and unfollowed, and But guess what? They're a wonderful person, but they never got past the know, like, trust phase because they just went for the gusto. So I think I think Kevin said it tonight. I can't remember, but Twitter, think of it like networking, not advertising, right? You're networking, you're building relationships. You are, and when I say building relationships, you're not building relationships to get something out of them later. That's not genuine. You're building relationships because you love community and you want to build a community of like-minded people. And then guess what? People just want to support you.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I have a tweet that's pinned. I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. And, you know, even though, like, I have relationships all over Twitter, it still is hard to sell. Like, no doubt. It's not, I don't think it's easy for most people. And I have a tweet that's pinned to promote my course. And I still was hesitant to ask people to retweet it for me. It's like, you know, it's so odd. It's like, I still have that reservation, like, you know, here's this opportunity for me to do lead generation, right? You know, I got this course is awesome. I want the world to know it's awesome. Yet me, like most people, being held back by fear. And I tried something interesting. I sent DMs to a bunch of colleagues and friends just saying, hey, would you retweet this for me? I'm always retweeting everybody's stuff, but I never asked people to do it in return. So I thought, you know, I'm just going to ask for help. And I got a ton of retweets. People were being so nice and so gracious and like, sure, I'm happy to help you. And there were a few, by the way, will you retweet this for me? I'm like, sure, of course. Like, you know, let's all help each other. You know, that's, I think, a really good aspect in all of this, right? Is we're all here to help each other. Don't you think?
Yes, we're all here to help each other. But I'm going to tell you an easy way for lead generation on Twitter where you don't have to ask anybody anything.
Okay.
All right? Okay. First of all, you've built this audience. And I'm going to assume that whoever's listening to this, they have a targeted audience, which I build on ManageFlitter. I've had my ManageFlitter account for years. I love that tool. Love, 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 love. So I have a very targeted audience, a tech audience. So you think about your audience and think about the struggles that they face. What are they struggling with on a daily basis? Okay? So then you write a blog post to address one of those struggles. For example, let's say you have a social media audience. They want to learn more about Twitter. They want to know how to build an engaged, targeted following that doesn't take a lot of time. So you write a blog post to address that struggle that they're having. They read that blog post and they think, wow, this answered my question. At the bottom of that blog post, you have a call to action. Would you like to learn more? Right? Yeah. They trust you at this point. They know you from Twitter, so you've got the know, like, trust. They know you're not going to abuse their email address because you got to have trust there. Otherwise, they're just going to put their junk account or something, right? So you want to have that trust, and then they're going to put their information in there. And then you know what? You are going to treat that like a little piece of gold. You're not going to take advantage of them, and you're going to be grateful for them, and you are going to nurture them through the buying process by providing valuable content. You want them to look forward to your emails. So email marketing, that's a whole other ball of wax. But you see what I'm saying? You don't ever have to ask anybody anything. You get them off Twitter because, you know, Twitter could shut down any day now, and you want to move people over to a property that you own, which is your website.
Right.
And go from there. I mean, HubSpot has a fantastic inbound marketing course that's free. It's a no-joke course. I think everybody should take that course because, you know, it's just inbound marketing, you know?
Yeah, that's great advice. So, and that was one of the questions, one of the things we talked about in the chat is getting people from Twitter over here and move them all the way over here to your website. And we talked a little bit about funnels during the chat. So now that we're on live streaming video, this is what I like to refer to as going beyond the 140 characters where you can really talk this out. So what are the best ways, you know, okay, so we could do blog posts. What are other ways to get them from Twitter where they know, like, and trust us over to our website? Because you're right. I mean, sure, Twitter and any other social media platform can go away tomorrow. It is rented space. We do not own it, even though we think we own where we're at. What are some ways to move them over?
Okay, so you have to do your research and know what content is hot on what site. So for Twitter, for example, infographics have been popular for years, right? I remember when infographics became popular on Twitter, like, I don't know, it was like 2010 or something. I remember that big boom back then of all kinds of infographics. So you can create an infographic so then when you tweet a little portion of it, they click on it to go to the blog post and the rest of it, and you've got your call to action there at the bottom, right? Yeah. Or you could, for somebody like you who's so brilliant about Twitter, you could write an ebook, right? That would be like, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 pages of writing. So it's probably going to take you a Saturday afternoon. Then you go to Fiverr and you hire somebody for $20 to put it all together into a PDF for you.
Right.
And create an ebook. That's valuable content that somebody would gladly. So that when you do your blog post, you're talking about all the things they're going to learn in this ebook.
Right.
And they provide their email address. You've moved them off Twitter onto your website, and they get that ebook in their email. So it's just really providing valuable content, which is time consuming. Right. I'm not going to lie, but create evergreen content. In other words, not content that's going to, only be good for a month. Create content that you sure, it's going to take you a Saturday afternoon to write that ebook, but you know what? You'll be able to use that for 5 years, at least 2 or 3 years.
And you can tweak it from time to time as needed.
Of course. Yeah. So it's really about building your reputation and making it people. Have you ever signed up on those email lists and you're like, ooh, I can't wait to get the email. That's what you want people to think about you. Right.
That is brilliant. And that's so smart. And another thing we talked about is, a tweet is usually 15 minutes shelf life, right? So we're tweeting out all this stuff. We got a short amount of time, a small window to grab people's attention. So what are ways that we can grab their attention and take advantage of that 15 minutes? I saw some of you had some really good responses. So I'm excited to hear your expanded version of this.
What did Sue say? It almost feels like building a content closet. Classic pieces. Oh, ooh. Ooh, she is
she's super smart. I love this content closet.
And she's an artist too. Did you know that Sue is an artist? Have you seen her pinned tweet? It's like this big fancy virtual reality, augmented reality thing she drew with colored pencils.
I need to look at that. We met at Agents of Change conference in Maine last month. She is awesome.
Yeah.
I just say. Wow, I love how she said that.
That was fantastic. That was really good. Okay. Making your tweet last longer. For one thing, you want to do your hashtag research. And you want to find the appropriate hashtags to put in there, because there are a lot of people who will scroll through the hashtag looking for content. And so make sure that you use the hashtags that are relevant to that tweet. And I know you know this. You do that all the time. Okay. When appropriate, this is the key. When appropriate, tag people in your tweet. Now, I say when appropriate because you and I are both spammed when we're tagged in tweets, and you're like, what the hell is this thing that it's like, what's this about? No. It has to be appropriate. Otherwise, you're going to go over into the spam category. But you can tag 10 people in your tweet. So for people, for your community, and for your peeps, for your group of people that who are always supporting you, tag them in that tweet, because they're going to retweet it for you. And that's going to make it last longer. So, and of course, use a pinned tweet. Pinned tweets, every single person who goes to your page is going to see that tweet. So there's several things you can do to increase the lifespan of your tweet. So obviously, you want to just increase your engagement on that, whether it's likes or retweets or comments, and it's going to keep that tweet alive. My best advice, though, is hashtags. That has really worked well for me. But you have to use the correct ones. Like for me, using tech is not good, even though I'm in the tech industry. Because if you go to the tech hashtag, every time you refresh that page, there's 500 new results. I mean, I'm not going to get seen in there. But if I get more specific and do AI or IoT for Internet of Things or 5G or one of those other hashtags, then, I'm going to sit up there on that hashtag for 20 minutes, and that's good. Oh, Bruno is here. Hi, Bruno.
Hey, Bruno. Everybody's talking about how Sue is so smart. Sue is having like a love fest right now. I mean, like Natasha chimed in, and then Melissa, and then Bruno. I mean, this is just so awesome. They all just,
I'm telling you,
love her.
I'm a big Sue super fan. That's what I am. I'm a super fan.
A Sue super fan. You know, I'm a big fan of pinning the tweets too. I think that's such a great way to take your best content and have it live further than the 15 minutes. And one thing I always advise people to do is to look at your analytics on Twitter and look to see how many, because I think this is something people don't really do. Look at how many profile views you get. That's how many people are going to your Twitter profile. And that's how many people are seeing that pinned tweet.
Right. That's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It's because I get like a crazy number of profile views. And every time I do a double tick, like that many people came over. And then it makes me very happy that I have a very good pinned tweet on there because it's getting those eyeballs, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so, I completely agree with you. And looking at analytics is so important.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about that a little bid as we kind of wind down, because gosh, we could just sit here and talk all day because you and I just
we could
talking about all this. But let's talk a little bit about analytics, because that's something I think everybody can learn from. Learn more about, because it's something I don't know about you, but when I talk to people, they just don't really check their analytics. They don't really. So many people tell me they don't even know where it is on their Twitter profile.
All right. Well, first of all, social media is different now. Twitter is different now than it was 5 years ago. And it's getting more difficult to cut through the noise because there is so much noise right now. And one way that you can do that is to use data. You know what they say, data is the new bacon. Data is important. So one way that you can get a competitive advantage over all of those people who are tweeting and they don't check their analytics is to check your analytics, and then you have to take it another step further and use that information. So if you go on your Twitter page, up, and I think I'm saying this from memory, in the upper right corner,
Right.
You scroll down, everybody has an analytics page. And then you have an option at the top. You can get details about your audience. You can look at your tweets, all the information like what you were saying, to look at profile visits. So there's all kinds of information in there, in your analytics, that can help you really get noticed more on Twitter. One of them is look at your tweets that perform well. And of course, you can look on that on your Twitter page too, but you can tell what tweets are doing well and what aren't. But analytics gives you more specific information. And you can use that information because that's the kind of content your audience wants to see. So tweet more of that. Tweet less of the stuff that you like, but your audience doesn't like, because it's about them. It's not about you. It's about pleasing your audience. So sometimes I tweet something and I think, oh man, this is going to go crazy. And it's like crickets. Yeah. And I'm like, darn it, how did that happen? So it doesn't really matter what you like. It matters, give your audience the kind of content they crave. Another very important thing that you can derive from your analytics is the times, the right times.
Yes.
Your audience is online. For me, it's really weird. It's like midnight until 6 a.m. my time.
Really?
Usually it's so bizarre to me. And then in the middle of the day my time, it's like just like lukewarm. So again, you got to tweet at the times when your audience are actually there. If you're saying lifespan of a tweet is 15 minutes, you want to at least hit it when the most people are going to be there. So again, you get that from analytics, and I could go on and on. I mean, my analytics, since the majority of my audience is interested in tech, I can tell the difference between how many are using iOS, how many are using Android, all kinds of niche information. And like you said, a lot of people are analytics. So think what a great little competitive advantage you can have as far as cutting through some of that noise and really making an impact.
Absolutely. This is such great advice and information. I really appreciate you taking time to be on the Twitter chat today and then come over here on the live stream and share all this with us. You're just a wealth of information. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? I'm going to pull up your Twitter and share it.
How about Twitter? I'm on Twitter all the time.
You are. You're always on there. I'm going to share this on Facebook here if you guys want to get in touch. And what's your website?
It's adamsconsultinggroup.com. But Twitter's the best place. I'm on there all the time.
Okay, so you guys heard it. That's the place to go. Reach out to her. And what else? What else are you guys saying?
That's all. I was just going to say, I am so rarely on Facebook. Everybody I know loves Facebook. But you know what? Like we always say, you got to focus on so you don't have to be on every social site. Pick one and own it. Yeah. So I'm like you, Madalyn. I'm owning Twitter. And I post on Facebook every now and then.
I know. You don't do much on Facebook, I notice. I don't do a whole lot on there. I mean, I do some, but really it's just kind of light. I focus on Twitter, but I agree with you. Like, go all in on something, pick something. Right. I'm really all in on live streaming too. I love live streaming. I think,
and you're so good at it with that like professional mic and everything. You look all.
It's my podcasting gear. So
it's very cool. It's very, very cool. But
now I have I got my SOCIALROI ManageFlitter mic flag. I don't know if it's showing up too good on here. So yeah, isn't that cool?
That is like way cool.
I love it. So yeah, I love live streaming. I think this is a great platform. It's a great way to connect with people. And my prediction for 2018 is to see this get bigger and more people really going all in on it. So
yeah, I completely agree with you. As a matter of fact, I was in Germany last week for Huawei, but last month I was in Shanghai for Huawei, and they were doing a presentation on the future, and they were saying that by next year, I can't remember the exact number, but I want to say 85% of consumed content will be video.
Wow. That's amazing.
Can you believe that? Yeah.
It's hard to believe right now, but once we get there, yeah, we'll be like, oh yeah, of course.
It might have been 2020. It was either 2018 or 20. Either way, it's like coming up. So video is where it's at.
I totally agree. And thank you, Joe, for your kind words. Everybody's just really enjoyed having you, Diana. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
You're
and
very
we'll
welcome.
have a recap up in a few days on the ManageFlitter blog, and be on the lookout for that. And we'll be back next week with another awesome Twitter chat. So until then, I'll see everybody out on Twitter, and Diana, I'll definitely see you out on Twitter.
Hasta la vista.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy Twitter.